In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on February 24th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Miami Heat versus Atlanta Hawks. The Miami Heat, currently holding a 26-28 record and sitting in 8th place in the Eastern Conference, are gearing up to take on the Atlanta Hawks, who are 26-30 and in 9th place. The game is scheduled for February 12th at the United Center. Both teams are fighting to improve their standings as the season progresses, making this matchup crucial for their playoff aspirations. The Heat are riding high after a hard-fought 120-111 overtime victory against the Toronto Raptors on the road this past Friday. On the other hand, the Hawks are struggling, having lost their last 2 games, including a disappointing 114-108 defeat at home to the Orlando Magic on Thursday. This will be the second meeting between these two teams this season, with the Hawks securing a 120-110 win at home back on December 28. They'll face off again on Wednesday, adding even more weight to this divisional clash. Injury concerns continue to plague both squads. The Heat are still without Kevin Love and Nikola Jovic, while the Hawks will once again be missing Larry Nance Jr. and Jalen Johnson. These absences could play a significant role in how the game unfolds, as both teams are already dealing with inconsistent performances. Historically, this matchup has been a competitive divisional battle, but neither team has been particularly reliable lately. The Heat showed grit in a narrow loss to the Bucks recently, while the Hawks blew a late lead in their last game, raising questions about their ability to close out tight contests. The Hawks have managed to cover the spread in 7 of their last 10 games, but their recent form suggests they're running out of steam. Meanwhile, the Heat, despite being on the second night of a back-to-back, showed resilience in their near win against the Bucks, which is a positive sign. This game carries significant implications for the play-in tournament seeding, and the Heat seem to be playing with a greater sense of urgency. The Hawks' home court advantage hasn't been much of a factor this season, as they're just 12-14 at State Farm Arena. In fact, it's not uncommon to hear "Let's go Heat" chants echoing through the arena during these matchups. So the Miami Heat to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Defensively, both teams have been struggling lately. The Heat have allowed an average of 115 points over their last 3 games, while the Hawks have given up 120 points in their previous 4. However, both teams have been relatively efficient in terms of ball security and playmaking, with the Heat ranking 13th in the NBA with a 1.91 assist-to-turnover ratio and the Hawks sitting 15th at 1.84. These factors could lead to a higher scoring game, especially given their recent defensive lapses. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Oklahoma City Thunder. 2 Western Conference playoff hopefuls face off again on Monday night, wrapping up a home-and-home series. The Minnesota Timberwolves are coming off a 121-115 loss to the Houston Rockets on Friday night, where they were 4-point underdogs. Despite the loss, they've shown resilience, but injuries continue to plague them as Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, and Jalen Clark remain sidelined. On the other side, the Oklahoma City Thunder are also missing Nikola Jovic, but they've managed to stay competitive. These two teams just battled it out in a tight game on Sunday, and now they'll meet again less than 24 hours later. This time, the Thunder will have the home court advantage, which has been a significant edge for them this season. They've covered the spread in 69.2% of their games as home favorites, the second best rate in the league. With both teams playing on no rest after Sunday's matchup, depth will likely be a deciding factor. Oklahoma City holds the upper hand here, as Minnesota's bench is stretched thin due to injuries. Anthony Edwards will need to carry a heavy load for the Timberwolves, assuming he even suits up. Minnesota put up a strong fight in Sunday's game, showing they can compete despite their recent struggles and injury woes. However, it's going to be a tall order to fend off the Thunder's relentless attack, especially without their top 2 big men. Beating the same team twice in a row is always a challenge, and the Timberwolves' current injury situation makes it even tougher. The Thunder, on the other hand, are rolling with a full roster and the MVP frontrunner leading the charge. While they didn't cover the spread on Sunday, I expect a more decisive performance from them this time around. town, as they should handle business comfortably at home. So the Oklahoma City Thunder to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Despite being shorthanded, the Timberwolves' offense has been on the rise lately. They've scored at least 115 points in each of their last 3 games, and they'll need to keep that momentum going against a high-scoring Thunder squad that has hit 115 or more in 9 of their last 10 outings. Minnesota ranks 5th in the league in made three-pointers per game, while Oklahoma City sits 5th in made field goals per game. Given these trends, the current total feels too low, and this game has the makings of a shootout. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Portland Trail Blazers versus Utah Jazz. The Portland Trail Blazers are heading to the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah to take on the Utah Jazz. Portland currently sits in 13th place in the Western Conference with a season record of 24 wins and 33 losses and a conference record of 14-28. Meanwhile, Utah is struggling near the bottom of the standings, holding the second to last spot in the West with a season record of 14-43 and a conference record of 6-33. So far this season, the Trail Blazers and Jazz have split their matchups, with each team securing 1 win. The Trail Blazers will be without Deander Ayton, Mattis Thybulle, and Robert Williams for this game. On the other side, the Jazz have ruled out Jordan Clarkson, and they're keeping a close watch on Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen, both of whom are listed as questionable. Even if Kessler and Markkanen suit up, Utah will still be missing Colin Sexton, a key offensive contributor. Injuries can always complicate things, especially when players try to compete at less than 100%. Portland has only been favored on the road once this season, and that was back in January against the Charlotte Hornets. They managed to cover the spread in that game, winning 102-97. Utah, on the other hand, is dealing with a long list of injuries heading into this matchup. Even if their questionable players take the court, they'll still be shorthanded, which could create opportunities for the Trail Blazers to capitalize. The Jazz are coming off a solid win against the Houston Rockets, but that victory doesn't change the fact that they've only managed to string together 2 consecutive wins twice all season. Meanwhile, the Trail Blazers have been playing some of their best basketball over the past month. They've also been a reliable bet against the spread this season, going 32-24-1. If you've been consistently betting on Portland this year, you've likely seen some decent returns. Portland looked sharp in their last game, dominating the Hornets and shaking off any lingering rust. I think they're poised for another strong performance against a struggling Jazz team that might be missing several key players. Both teams are dealing with injuries, but the Trail Blazers have the depth to handle it better than Utah. The line for this game seems fair, and the Jazz have been consistently underwhelming this season. So the Portland Trail Blazers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The last 4 matchups between these two teams have all gone over the total points line. Portland has seen 3 of their last 4 games exceed the total, while Utah has had 8 straight games finish over the total. Both teams struggle with ball security, which often leads to easy transition baskets. Utah has scored at least 120 points in both of their meetings with Portland this season, and their strong offensive rebounding ensures they'll keep putting points on the board. The Trail Blazers are coming off their best offensive game of the season and will be facing a Jazz team that ranks 28th in defensive rating. Utah's recent games have been high-scoring, with an 8-2 over-under record in their last 10 contests. Portland has a 6-4 over-under record in their last 10 games against Western Conference opponents. When you look at the offensive and defensive averages for both teams over their last 3 games, as well as their season-long and home, away splits, the projected total comes out to 229 points. However, when you factor in the average pace of both teams, 103.7 possessions per game, the projected total adjusts to 237. Given the recent trends and the fast-paced style of play from both teams, betting on the game to go over the total points line seems like the smart move. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Charlotte Hornets versus Sacramento Kings. The 2024-2025 NBA season rolls on this Monday, February 24th, with an exciting cross-conference matchup set to take place at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Fans are in for a treat as the Charlotte Hornets and Sacramento Kings face off in what promises to be an intriguing contest. Last season, these two teams met twice, and the series ended in a split, with each team securing a win on the road. This adds a layer of unpredictability to their upcoming clash, as both sides have shown they can perform well in hostile environments. Heading into this game, the Hornets are dealing with some roster challenges as Daquan Jeffries remains sidelined due to injury. On the other hand, the Kings are entering this matchup with a fully healthy squad, giving them a slight edge in terms of available talent. The Hornets have been struggling significantly in recent weeks, and their confidence might still be shaken after suffering a humiliating 53-point loss to the Trail Blazers just last Saturday. While the Kings haven't been in peak form either, they come into this game with the advantage of extra rest, having last played on Friday. Additionally, their full roster availability could prove crucial in this matchup. Statistically, Sacramento appears to be the stronger team compared to Charlotte, though the Kings' defensive performance has been a weak point throughout the season. They currently rank 29th in the league in opposing three-point percentage, allowing teams to shoot 37.9% from beyond the arc. However, the Hornets, who are dealing with injuries and inconsistency, may not be able to fully exploit this defensive vulnerability. Charlotte ranks 28th in the NBA in three-point shooting, making just 34.3% of their attempts from deep. It's difficult to predict how motivated the Hornets will be after their recent blowout loss to the Trail Blazers. Meanwhile, the Kings have been solid offensively, ranking in the top half of the league in effective field goal percentage and consistently getting to the free throw line at a top 10 rate. They've also done a good job of taking care of the ball, minimizing turnovers. In contrast, the Hornets have struggled offensively, ranking in the bottom 5 in nearly every major shooting category. Their lack of depth has been a recurring issue, and the Kings, who are fighting for a playoff spot, know they need to win games like this to stay in contention. Sacramento's strong defensive rebounding should limit Charlotte's second-chance opportunities. The point spread for this game was always expected to favor the Kings heavily, and for good reason. Sacramento's starting lineup is packed with talent, and it's hard to see them continuing to underperform as they have in recent weeks. Given the Hornets' struggles with ball security and their weak two-point defense, the Kings are well positioned to dominate this game. So the Sacramento Kings to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. As previously mentioned, the Kings have been one of the more efficient offensive teams this season. Their ability to protect the ball and maintain a high level of execution should keep them operating smoothly. They also rank 5th in the league in possessions per game, indicating a fast-paced style of play. While the Hornets have struggled to find consistency, they do rank 5th in three-point attempts per game and are in the top 5 in offensive rebound rate. However, their defensive woes were on full display last Saturday when they allowed a staggering 141 points to the Trail Blazers, pushing the game over the 227.5-point total. Charlotte has also failed to score more than 100 points in 4 of their last 5 games. That said, the Kings are far from a defensive powerhouse. They rely heavily on their offense and play at the 10th fastest pace in the league, averaging 99.4 possessions per 48 minutes. This up-tempo style has contributed to 7 of their last 8 home games going over the projected total. The Hornets, who don't mind playing at a faster pace, could help keep this game high-scoring. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.